Hello everyone, welcome back to an analysis video of what happened on a World Tour event. But this time it's actually the World Finals, let's be real here. Now, the World Finals probably had some of the biggest drama you have ever seen in the events, or amongst the top drama anyway, and we were right in the thick of the action of that, of course. So I'm going to take you through the mindset of Team Audi again, what actually happened, why we're in that predicament in the first place, because there is issues there. And then I'll take you through what was going through my mind at the time, and then the overall outcome and my feelings at the time, all things like that. We've done these before, you know what to expect. So yeah, let's get on with that now. I'm just going to flick over to the old qualifying lap first. Ta-da! That easy. Right, okay, so I've loaded this quali lap up here because I want to make a point very quickly about this. So qualifying was critical. I'm going to get rid of the mouse actually for a second. Critical for slipstream, okay? Now, a few of us had practiced this at home. You know, you practice qualifying, you get an idea for it. Now, what we practiced at home was that the first and second sector is very slipstream based. We're talking 5, 6, 7 tenths of a second with slipstream. That's the advantage you have with slipstream. Now, at the live events, I talked about this before, the dirty air is less. So actually, slipstream at the event is worthwhile in the last sector, while it's not at home. So actually, the slipstream was worth well over a second per lap in order to get your fast lap. Now, we did some practice at the event, and we were one of the fastest cars. We then had a bit of practice before this session, and again, we were one of the fastest cars. Now, it was very obvious very quickly teams started to work together. Okay, so Toyota and Chevrolet, they were working together. There's a couple more drivers. I think it was Porsche and somebody else was working together. Now, technically, you're not allowed to work together. It's in the rules, which I didn't actually know about at the time either. I found out about this afterwards. And obviously, we'd started to try and work with Jaguar. Now, when we came out, you can see Audi up ahead here, Jaguar, Lexus, Mercedes. So I thought, okay, there's a train of 4 cars here. Everybody else is doing their own thing with their own pairings. Hopefully we can all have a bit of double slipstream fun. So, I'm loading this lap because I want to show you just the advantage you have. Okay, so you can see that the Mercedes is really back here. This is the first lap out. We've not even done a lap, actually, because the out lap is only 30 seconds long. Straight into a lap here, okay? And you can see already slipstream is going to have an impact. Now, because we're an MR car, literally, this first sector and then the dock section is amazing for us. Handling section, we pull ahead massively in that section. You can see Jaguar are very close behind us there. Again, I don't mind helping Jaguar. If everybody helps each other, everybody gets at least a lap in. If you don't get your lap in, then it's fair game. But at least everyone gets a shot, right? That's what I was hoping for, you know. But it doesn't turn out that way. So you can see here, the likes of Mercedes have just been sort of kept in there just. Jaguar working very well with Jomas at the wheel, and then I'm at the wheel of the Audi. Now you're going to see up ahead that I'm just going to move out the way of the Jaguar here. And you can see up ahead when that will happen. I'll dart out the way, stay to the right hand side, just hit the wall, let Jaguar get that, and then I pull in behind. Happy days. So Jaguar are obviously going to have a good lap here, but you actually need double slipstream because obviously the last sector is actually critical as well. But the Audi is so slow in a straight line because we can't hit our peak power. It's not happened here. But even so, you can see how close these guys have caught up. Jaguar very quick on the straights, of course. So Lexus and Mercedes have both had a double slipstream the entire lap, which is amazing for them. They had the gap as well to close it up, and you can see through here now that everyone is closing up, and you can see the gap up ahead is not enough for us to even get a good run on this lap even. So you can see we're pushing along. I hit the wall there, so I just let off here. I'll let people go, and this is where Mercedes gets the lap, and that's also where Lexus got their lap, I believe, as well. Now, a 55-1, very capable. We did that pre-practice to this as well, but I was annoyed. So after that run, us and Jaguar still tried to keep going, you know. The Jaguar very fair play team, had Jomas, Hellsfire and Kenny in there. And we realised very quickly we need the double slip, and no one else would race. So literally on the last corner, for example, there was 4 cars stopped. There was the Ford. Now the Ford GT can actually do a lap on its own pretty well because it's a rapid car in a straight line, and we'll look at that in the race a little bit. Same for the Toyota. But we really could have done with an MR car, so the MR car could be good in the dot sections and we could catch up, but we didn't have that. 2 very different cars here, with Jaguar and Audi. So Ford on the last corner, I think BMW were there, Jaguar were there, we were there, I'm not sure if anyone else was there, but basically, Mercedes for example, they've done that lap. They don't need to do anything else. If they help anybody else, they potentially get knocked out of the top 6. Likewise for anybody else, the minute you get in that top 6, you can stop qualifying. Now that to me is wrong, okay? And I really, 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 really want them to stop doing this stupid qualifying. Even in the FIA lobbies that you guys compete in, week out, slipstream is becoming stupid. Absolutely stupid. Now I don't even mean dirty air here, I mean just the strength of it. We have seen in a fair few FIA lobbies where there are 14, 15 cars parked up on the last corner because nobody will go. Because they know the minute they go, they lose out because everybody else gets slipstream and they all get a better lap. Honestly. Can we just have qualifying like it was in GT5 or GT6 with the blue lines? Everybody on their own on track, blue lines on there, let's get the fastest laps. Forget about slipstream entirely in this session. It's a video game at the end of the day, okay? We can take the weaknesses of racing, get rid of them, and have the perfect way to race in a video game. That's why dirty air I don't really get in a game. I'm glad it's much reduced now in the live event stuff. I've not tried it in the game yet with the new update, whether that's going to obviously reduce the dirty air, but we will find out. Because dirty air, what's the point of it? Let's get rid of it. Slipstream strength, let's get rid of it. Let's get it so that, yes, you can catch up a little bit, but it's not nuclear where you can gain a second and a half. It's bonkos. Let's actually have a game where it's competitive, because this is meant to be a competitive esport, but, you know, isn't purely based on what everybody else does. It should be about driver skill to some extent, qualifying, not about luck and who gets the first look of the draw with the slipstream. Anyway, that's enough for qualifying, because you'll hear me moaning about it all day. So I just wanted to show you that just to demonstrate it. So we should have been in the top 6 shootout, and we'd have been well up there. Unfortunately, we're not. We came 11th in that qualifying session. Absolutely atrocious. We shouldn't be there. So yeah, we actually thought that the podium was off, and you would have seen that in the vlog. If you haven't watched the vlog, go watch it. So let's jump to the race, and you can see some of the chat here actually. So we're going to jump to the race now, and I've got some timestamps here just so that I'm not fumbling about like a madman. So I'm just going to let that play now. Oh, we're on times 2 speed here. Let's just put that back to normal. So, race 1 was going to be Tatsuk, Double H, then me. Now, generally speaking, Tatsuk was always going to be on the medium tyres. Double H is always going to be on the hard tyres. I'm always going to be on the soft tyres. We decided that before we went there, so we knew exactly what we were going to do. Now, Gardens is the first track that we're on. This is an MR track, and I can tell you, and you can ask Jomas this, because me and Jomas actually practiced this track particularly. The Audi was rapido here, and I mean ridiculously so. The only sketchy part was the chicane, which it is in any MR car. And I'm talking on soft tyres over a second a lap quicker. We would have been one of, if not the fastest car here, just because it's very much an Audi circuit. So the fact we weren't in the top 6 is very frustrating. Now, Tatsuk is in the car for this first one. Okay, so he's going to be on medium tyres. And it does mean we should be able to overtake because we have that advantage. So I want you to actually watch what Tatsuk does on this first session. I wonder if I can just speed this up a little bit because the start's quite boring. It's 3 hours long. Right, here we go. So if you look on the left side, we are 11th at the moment, right? And Tatsuk, one of the best things about Tatsuk, right? He's an amazing driver. Is his starts are some of the best I have seen in this game. If you look at any live event where Tatsuk's been, he has absolutely dominated starters. It's bonkers. I don't know how he does it, but he somehow manages to gain so many places. So, you know, massive shout out to him. But straight away, you're going to start seeing Audi moving up the field. So he's on the outside there. He's gone for the risky outside. Up to P9, drop to P10. You can see we're on the outside of that BMW a little bit there. You can see us a bit just in the background. We can see we are in P10 at the moment. So we've already gained a position, lost out a little bit to Porsche there. Watch that Audi start going up again. So we're on the inside, of course, because we were on the outside before. So we get that position from Porsche. Hyundai have had a bit of a nightmare. Ford have had a bit of a nightmare. Look at that, P8! P8! What? P11 to P8! What on earth is going on? So obviously we're going to come through this section. And you can see the BMW's on hard tyres. We're on medium. So straight away, I can already see that as a place that we should gain. As you see, the Lexus going for a move here. Now you are going to see us gain another 2 positions. And I went nuts on the sofa. The minute I saw Tatsuki, I was like, what the hell's going on? 6th place. And we weren't that far off the lead then. So then top 6 was sort of negated a little bit. Because we were then sort of in there. Very frustratingly, we should have obviously been way up there. I mean, top 6 shootout, I imagine Tatsuk would have got it on pole. And we would have been, you know, in the lead. But even so, we weren't. And we're actually going to get investigated here in just a second for an incident. Now, I'm going to watch this incident, and we'll watch it in full speed, and we'll rewind it a little bit and watch it in slow motion, actually. Because I think that... can we fast forward this a little bit? Where is it? Here we go. So, here's the replay. So, you can see under braking that we actually had the inside there, but for some reason, they deem that as a penalty. Now... we're just going to go back to it a little bit here. And I'm just going to slow it down as well the minute we start showing it. Because I want to look at this in very slow motion. No, I missed it a bit. 31. Right, okay. So, let's actually have a look at this. So, we're already, right, we're in the braking zone here. Remember, we're on medium tyres, they're on hard tyres. Now, as we come into this braking zone... we're braking, and look, the BMW comes across into us. Now that, in my opinion, shouldn't be a penalty to us, okay? So there's a slight tap there, which is then obviously going to force the BMW into the Alpha, and that pushes them wide. Now, in my opinion, that isn't a penalty. It isn't a penalty, because the BMW came across us. And I was a little bit frustrated about this. So, let's just have a look at this again. Oh, as my screen's going a bit funky here, because we're going that slow. Oh, look! It's actually lagging. Right, let's put it on normal. Right, okay, and let's put it back to 0.25. I'll say, watch this again, and watch what happens. So you can see, under braking, now we brake, and the BMW turns across us, which forces the contact. So in my opinion, that isn't a penalty. Now, let me know your guys' thoughts on that, because to me, that isn't a penalty at all. And just to add on top of that, we also did an extra lap on mediums here. Now, you're also probably going, well, why did you do the extra lap on mediums? So we did the extra lap on mediums because if you actually think about the chicane a little bit, the chicane gets very sketchy. So if you have one more lap of worn tyres, that's a very, very, very risky chicane on that final lap. And we didn't want to risk it. So it's better to have that extra lap of mediums, have the extra wear on the soft to be able to then potentially make moves later on. So we dropped to P8 here. We dropped behind Alpha, which is unfortunate. But hey, we're still P8 from P11. Right, we're going to jump now to my stint. So Double H has his stint. Survives, does an absolutely fine job, does Double H on the hard tyres. Because obviously the hard tyres is the most sketchy as well. And we did that as well for Double H with the fuel. When the car's about full fuel to half, the actual chicane is not too bad. The minute you go under half is when the chicane gets all leery and horrible. But no one was really cutting it, but you still got to be careful. Right, so let's jump to where I'm in my stint. I'm going to jump to 50 when everyone's been in the pits. So at the moment, you can see I'm P9. We're 2.4 seconds, or we're 2.4 seconds behind Jaguar, but we're going to start catching at an absolute massive rate here. So you can see they're actually having a fight with Aston Martin. So we're just going to fast forward just a little bit. So you can just see what's happening. So you can see we've got Jaguar fighting with Aston Martin who are on the medium tyre. Alpha are just ahead there. Remember, we should really be ahead of Alpha in this situation, not behind. But even so, we're in this situation. We've got to deal with this situation. And Aston Martin and Jaguar are fighting it. Aston Martin's just trying to survive. Jaguar's behind. And obviously we're going to catch these at a fair pace. So as I say, well over a second quicker per lap the Audi on here with the softer tyres. And you can see they're fighting absolutely massively here. So we'll just keep this on fast forward for a little bit. You can see we're catching all the time here. I mean, look at that. Jaguar through now. And then what we're going to do... let's just pause that a second. You're going to keep seeing that window appear occasionally. Let's go to normal speed now. So here we go. So obviously we're going into the very much handling section here. So you're going to see Jaguar, Aston Martin struggle a little bit here because they're FR. And you're going to see the Aston go wide here. Now watch the Aston go wide and it just dart back as he tries to catch it. I go down the inside here, right? And then as we come into the corner, the Aston turns in on me there. You can just see that turn in just happen there. And we get the move done. So I'm just going to go back to that just quickly. Let's go a bit further back. Okay. So you see the Aston lose the rear slightly. It gets a lot of wheel spin here. What we're going to do, we're just going to go on 0.5 here. So you'll see the wheel spin and we dive down the inside here. There you go. So instantly I know I've got this move done. No chance the Aston can come in here. And just as we break a turn in, he turns in there. You can just see that turn in. I can't do anything at that point. I've got the inside. He's still got room on the exit there. So we do get that position. So that is our position. Now that does go under investigation. But I think the stewards see it the same way I do. Aston Martin turned in on us. Therefore, no penalty. Race continues. And the fact that there was a gap still there on the exit. So you can see it goes under investigation. But I actually had... you know, when you see that occasionally, you go, oh, crap. I was there in my head going, if that gets a penalty, the stewards have no idea what they're doing. But we don't get a penalty, no further action. They completely understand what had happened in that scenario. So happy days. So you can see here, we're not quitting the chicane. And here we are quitting the chicane. It's quite stable to do it there. It's not too bad because it's on the compression. You're about to accelerate out. The rear wheels should get traction in theory. You'll just have a little bit of sketchiness if they get overloaded. But even so, it's not too bad. So you can see we leave this corner. We're going to have a much higher apex speed there because the Jaguar is FR. We are MR. Much more of a handling corner there. So we're going to go dart down the inside. I knew Jaguar weren't going to fight too much. And they did sort of let us go there a little bit because in the end, they're trying to fight for the best position they can. They've got to defend for another 3 laps from us, where we have such a significant advantage. So we're up to P7 at the moment. Still plenty of places to make up ahead. You can see Ford are on the hard tyre. And I did look up occasionally just to try and identify that. And you can see BMW's just got past there. But we, in theory, should be ahead of the Alpha, who are 2.2 seconds ahead of us. And we should be another second ahead of them. So really, we should be fighting with BMW at this moment in time. So what we're going to do... stop coming up windows. I'm going to just fast forward this a little bit more, rather than jump around. Jump around. So no, actually we are going to jump a little bit, because actually I've got to go a little bit further. In fact, this is a quite clean move, this. Watch it in fast forward, but look at this. Side by side through that left section. That's really good racing by those guys. I think Arman was in the Ford at the time, so the fact he gave just enough space there for the BMW, and the BMW gave just enough space there for Ford. I mean, fair play. So I want to jump to lap 19. Right, here we go. Perfect. In fact, this is the perfect spot. So you can see here Mercedes are very close to Lexus. Lexus on the hard tyres, Mercedes on the medium. Now watch what Mercedes try and do here. So unfortunately he got held up on the apex, so he can't go for that move down the inside. Now I want to just point you to the this here, where we're 0.2 seconds behind the Ford. So the way to set up that move is to actually not get anywhere near them on the apex and carry the momentum through the corner to pull this move off. And that is exactly what I do. Now, unfortunately, it's not going to be on screen, but you can see it here. I sort of keep that gap as it is. And you can see we're just here on the map. And then what you're going to see here is me just dart right down the inside. That gap's going to drop, as you see it there. Straight down the inside. We gave enough room. Through we went. It was a superb move, actually. I wish it was caught on camera, but it wasn't, unfortunately. But a superb move up to P6. I was very happy with that. Very, very happy. It was a good move. And you'll have seen lately that I've been going for more aggressive moves. And this is the reason why, basically. I've realised that I've been a bit too gentlemanly on circuit. Well, I can race fair. Don't get me wrong. I've been racing a bit too gentlemanly. So you've been seeing me make more and more bigger moves, bigger dives. And as long as I leave room on the exit, or, it's fair in my opinion, and fair in most people's opinion, I'm going to start doing those moves more and more and more. As I say, I can race fair, I can race smart. You guys have seen this, especially recently as well, but I will still make those moves. So that is basically the end of that race. We actually come P6. I think we come P6 anyway. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump to Laguna Seca, which is race number 2. So let's just jump to that now. So yeah, we do finish P6. So once again, we're on medium tyres. You can see all sorts now. Group 4, a bit of an unknown for everybody because it's the first Group 4 race in quite a while at a live event. And Laguna Seca as well, unknown. Nobody's had a chance to test it with tyres. So, I say, very much an unknown. And you will have heard in the vlog that I said we had half an hour. Well, in the driver briefing, I put my hand up. I heard a couple of guys wanted extra time on there as well, a couple of teams. And I basically said, can we just have an hour? I'd rather they cut a little bit of the qualifying practice, because everybody will have done that, add it to this. So they did do that, you know, and shout out to PD for doing that. They did originally have it at 50 minutes. Unfortunately, there was a bit of an issue, so they dropped it to 40 minutes. But 40 minutes is still better than half an hour. We all can have a decent stint at Laguna Seca, 10 minutes more. You know, fair play, PD. PD, do listen. You know, if you come up with something that makes perfect sense, very logical, they will do that. So here we are with race number 2 anyway, Laguna Seca. Again, same sort of principle with the Audi, medium tyres. If we make a position, we make a position. Try and survive most of the carnage, and yeah, try and survive this race basically. Now imagine if we'd have gotten the top 6 shootout. I imagine we would have come third, or well, in the top 3 in that first race for sure, if it was as clean as what we did earlier. Because remember, we made moves and we're in P6. So I have no doubt we would have been in the top 3 here. And in the end, if we'd have finished in the top 3 here, we would have been so on it at Tokyo. But we've no idea how these races plan out, as you will see with this race. So what we are going to do is watch this start actually. Again, Tatsuk starting, I'd say, unbelievable starter here. Ooh, there I am. Unbelievable starter, Tatsuk. I've got to say, is one of the best starters I've seen, one of the best starters I've ever been teamed with in any of these events. Unbelievable starter. So you can see straight away he's going around the outside. Very, very risky move here. But obviously with the speed advantage at the start, he's managed to get a good overlap essentially. So then we're on the inside with Ford here, trying to keep that position. Obviously on the inside, we should keep that position. Alpha ahead on the hard tyres as well. So we're just trying to make a little bit of ground here as much as we can, and then basically form the Audi train, the Audi Express. Now, obviously, one nice thing here is PD know front-wheel drive cars are a bit useless, okay? They do know this. They're just trying to work with what they've got at the moment. So the nice thing is, as you see, we've got up to P5 here. Alpha ran a bit wide. Is tyre wear's only ×2. So we can at least race. And in my opinion, this is what the tyre wear should be in the official FIA races, ×2, because it's carnage otherwise. I literally have a choice in a lot of races when I race with Audi, is in Group 4. Don't race, or am I OP at the track? And if I'm OP on time trial, I'll have a good race. It's not necessarily mean I'm going to win, because I'm in front wheel drive, but at least I can have a race. If I can't get rank 1 on a time trial, there is 0 point for me to race. 0. So, you know, it does need to come down that tyre wear just so front wheel drive cars have an opportunity, or get rid of the amount of this class and get something else in. But even so, let's look at this now, because this is a critical move here. So coming into the braking here, BMW once again, I just realised actually, BMW have moved very late in the brakes again here, and that caused an incident there. So yeah, maybe stop moving slightly so late in the braking zone. That's 2. And that caused an incident, and Lexus get the penalty here. But you can see we're very close to Toyota. Now that GT86 is very slow in a straight line. So what you do see is you're going to see Tatsuk actually make the move on the Toyota in just a moment. And then the Toyota actually can't get back pass through without something happening, which we'll look at in a second. But you can see we're right on the toes there, the Toyota. Audi very quick in a straight line, we know this, everybody knows this. Well, very quick until you get to 6th gear, because it's got a lot of downforce, this car. The downforce actually slows it down in 6th gear, that top end speed, but before that, yeah. The commentators said it's the same as well. BMW just moved out slightly late, so yeah, because we got a penalty for it, Lexus I assumed was going to get a penalty anyway. Now, obviously you watching the live stream may not necessarily have seen that, but yeah. And you can see there we're now ahead of the Toyota as well. Now watch this, this is hilarious. So this is why Group 4 is a bit dodgy. I'm going to say dodgy at the moment, because you got a front wheel drive car like this, which just sods off. What can Yamanaka do there to overtake that car? He can't do anything. He can't do anything unless it's extreme tyre wear. and then the Audi's at the back, and the Toyota can overtake. It's too extreme. It really is too extreme. But even so, we actually are in 4th at the moment, which is happy days. Now, imagine if we were actually a little bit further ahead because, you know, we'd got in the top 6 shootout and actually, you know, had a good Dragon Trail and all that good stuff. We'd have been on a few higher points anyway. So you can see here, you see that sausage curb at Laguna. That is dangerous, by the way. You need to watch out for that sausage curb if you haven't raced that circuit yet. Watch out for it. So Yamanaka just yells out a little bit there because he realises it's not possible to overtake this Audi when you're behind it with low tyre wear, because you just hold it on the apex and speed out of it. When you're in such a slow car like that, it's very good at handling, but slow car, you can't do anything. And you can see, look at that, we just pull away and then you can't do anything. Can't do anything. So what we're going to do in a second, I'm going to slow it down, and Laguna, there's not much to talk about really once this happens, other than the norm happens basically. So I'm just going to slow this down right about here. So you see all the OP Group 4 cars come through. You can see we've gone off there a bit to Narnia. Now, I said the sausage curb is lethal. This is how lethal it is. And unfortunately, that's kind of critical for us as well. Aston Martin getting ahead of us there. That is actually critical. So we've seen 2 sort of critical problems so far. The penalty at the first race, that cost us probably 2 or 3 points. That there has cost us a point. Now, Alpha's always going to come through the pack here. Hard tyres. It'll just, irrespective, it'll just fire past everybody. And I can tell you in practice, the Alpha and the Toyota were a second faster than us easy. In fact, I was saying, oh, here we go. Just watch this a second. Sausage curb just sent us out wide. Sausage curb sent us wide. And unfortunately, you can't really do much in the RTT to correct when you're heading towards the sausage curb because you're just going to understeer. But yeah. So this is basically how it is. We drop a couple of positions. I think we dropped P8 in the end. Let's go jump right to the end of the race. 1:44 with me in the car. Now, as I said earlier on, it's about a second, I'd say, in terms of the absolute fastest cars and everybody else. You can see Aston Martin ahead of us, 3.6 seconds. Me and Nick was in the car at the time. We're just trading lap times. We were around 3.5 seconds our entire stints. Like every lap, Nick might get a couple of attempts, and I'd get a couple of attempts next lap, and yeah, just the entire time. It's quite fun actually. A bit boring because we're in the middle of nowhere. You can see Ford are miles behind us, and Aston are far ahead. So we get P7 in the end actually. Which, if you think about it, we started in P6. Imagine if we'd only lost 1 position in reality. That'd have been impressive. But imagine if we lost 0, because obviously that little mistake with the sausage curb actually cost us there, but mistakes happen. Mistakes actually happen. So we're going to finish here. It's a nice little battle at the end here. And Mercedes needed this actually to stay ahead of Toyota. And the 2 Frenchmen going at it here, Ryan and Tom. I'll tell you what, the French next year in Nations Cup is going to be fierce. Very fierce between the guys. Into the braking zone. And then the Toyota's never going to get past that. Look at that. Slight tags. See, Ryan's not very happy. But, you know, he's not very happy with himself. Shakes his hand. You know, he's not got a problem there with Tom at all. But do you know what? We're over the moon with this P7, by the way. I think I flashed my lights, actually, when I eventually come through. There we go. We are over the moon with that P7 result, trust me. There was a bit of carnage in there as well, which helped us keep that P7, but hey, P7 in the Group 4 at Laguna. We were well happy. And this is where we're thinking, what could have been? But even so, we looked at the points, which, where are the points here? They're around here somewhere. Is that the points? Nope, that's just the finishing times. It's great to have professional drivers here as well. So here we go. We looked at the points and we're like, hang on. It's possible. It really is possible that we could still get the podium. I mean, as I say, imagine we got a couple of positions higher, because, as I say, we should have been ahead of Alpha. We should have been ahead of BMW. Quite possibly fighting with Lexus here. So 2 or 3 points further up. That puts us very close to this lot. But even so, this is what it is. So, let's now jump to the start of this race. Now, we've changed our starting order here. And you're probably going, well, why did you change the starting order? Well, 2 reasons. First of all, it's a slipstream crazy train, which you guys know because we talked about it in qualifying. So straight away, you want to start on the hard tyre. That's just a given, in my opinion. Anyone starting on the mediums is kind of risking a lot here. So in practice, for example, on the mediums, I could keep up with the softs. Because the Audi's that good at handling, that's what can happen. So in this time, Double H was going to start, then it's going to be Tatsuk, and then it's going to be myself. Now, at the end of the day, you've got to save the softs for the end, because that's how we're going to race. That's the only time we're going to race, sorry. I've always talked about this in the past. You've got to race smart during the race, and at the end of the day, wherever you are in the last 2 laps is when you can start fighting, because that's where you're going to end up, roughly. The 18 laps prior to that, it doesn't really matter. It really doesn't matter where the hell you are, because if you're not in the main pack, or you're not near the front, you ain't fighting for squat. In reality, let's be real here. So our goal here was to fuel save. Now, there was only one team I knew that was going to race flat out, because it was faster for them to race flat out, and that was Ford. And we knew that straight away. So Ford are going to start behind us here. And we told Double H over the radio. Ford told us as well, we're going to race flat out. So, you know, if you don't mind, don't hold us up. So we're thinking, oh yeah, no worries, just take us along with you. That Ford's rapid in a straight line. Happy days, it can take us along. Unfortunately, it sort of went on the wrong way round, so we were hoping Ford was going to go around the outside and we could stay on the inside. That didn't quite happen, so unfortunately, what you're going to see in a second is we actually get nudged out a little bit here. You could say fortunately as well a little bit, because it plays to an advantage to some extent, I suppose. It's a bit weird really, but we'll talk about it in a second. So you can see Ford are on the inside of us there. Now if you look quite critically there, we run a little bit wide. Ford gives us a little bit of a tag as well, and we go all the way near the back here. Now one car we knew that was going to be slow here was the Hyundai, like really slow. So later on in this stint, I don't know what happened to my voice then by the way, later on in the stint I said to Double H, I think it was Double H I said this to, I can't remember who I said it to, I'm pretty sure it was Double H though. I said, if Hyundai are dropping off, we're going to have to overtake here. Otherwise, if they're in the pack, just fuel save. I say, all we've got to do is fuel save at the end of the day. It's a fuel saving race. I don't care if we're P12 at this point in time, but we're saving so much fuel. Because when we get to the end of the race, remember, it's a team race at the end of the day. We're racing for strategy here. If we can come in and don't have to refuel, boom, we gain 3 seconds instead of all this fighting, and boom, straight out into potentially a lead battle. Now, if we get out on our own, and no slipstream behind us, we would pull away. We would pull away because we are that good in the handling section. We'd pull away, and it'd be nice. Unfortunately for us, Toyota are so rapid on the straights and so good in very long sweeping corners. So Toyota was always going to win this race, irrespective. Everybody knew that. The Toyota was the fastest car here. Like, yeah, it was a done deal. So we knew we were all fighting for second. We even said this to each other, to be honest with you, which is kind of bad in the grand scheme of it. But what can we do? You know, it is what it is. That car with its gearing and the circuit is just rapid here. So yeah. Anyway, we are. Let me just have a look at my notes. We're gonna essentially fuel save here. Just fuel save. Fuel save, and then Tatsuk's going to jump in and fuel save. Now let me just jump to that moment actually where Tatsuk jumped in. I haven't actually written that time down, annoyingly, but I have written 2:16 down actually. So I just want to jump to this because this is kind of critical, okay? So I'm just going to jump to here. It's in 30 seconds time, but you can see here Chevrolet 2.5 seconds off the pack. We're there, and the Hyundai have dropped off to Narnia basically. Now I can tell you Chevrolet were pushing like absolute madmen. So Tatsuk was saving like a madman here, really short shifting. Double H done an amazing job with the fuel saving. Tatsuk had started or carried on that, should I say, with the fuel saving. It was good, and because Chevrolet were pushing hard, it's like, hey, we'll take it. You just bring us along, basically. Happy days. Now I want you to have a look at the BMW in a moment, okay? Here we go. Look at the BMW here. It disappears. Then reappears. Now, I can tell you in this race there was a problem with netcode, and it was getting worse throughout the race. So what do I mean by netcode? I mean how everyone is communicating with each other and where the server thinks the cars are and stuff. So obviously there, for some reason, the server disconnected the BMW and then put it back on. A bit similar to iRacing. iRacing does that, you know, it flashes on and off. So later on in the race, I can tell you it becomes even more significant, and I can actually demonstrate this perfectly with our car, because you'll notice it and you'll be like, what the hell? So yeah, netcode's an issue. You can see the Chevrolet is actually catching up to the cars in front. So it's all fairly nice at the moment. You know, the Chevrolet is fairly rapid in a straight line, which is why Chevrolet and Toyota are working together. I wish Toyota would wanted to work with us, to be honest with you, because yeah, it would have helped us quite a lot. But there we go, in quality that is. But you can see the Toyota's already 4.8 seconds ahead here, so it's yeah, it's already decided that one. But if you look at the podium, it's all over the place at the moment, absolutely all over the place. So let's now jump to 2:23, because that's when I jump in the car. Let me just. How long is this video? 37 minutes, my word. In fact, we've actually done quite well here. So everybody's jumped in the pits here. BMW have done a bit of a foul play. They pitted 1 lap too early because they went out for an extra stint. But look at that, everybody on soft. So it's pretty obvious what you do with the strategy, isn't it, really? Let's be real here. Ford, as I say, are on an absolute rampage. So they've done that to try and break the slipstream, which is very smart. You know, if they're that fast at this circuit, if they can break the slipstream, come out in P2, then they've got P2. Because nobody's going to catch them. Oh, one thing I didn't show, actually. Let me just jump back to that. Fuel. Right. So we came in with 43, you can see that here, 43, so we've done a fairly good job. Any particularly bad ones, Jaguar, but they were leading the pack for quite a while, which is why they lost out. Aston Martin pretty low. Now the Audi's pretty rubbish at fuel saving, so you know, we'd done pretty well here to get 43. Now I said in my vlog I was aiming for 56, well 50, sorry, but I was going to fill to 56. I decided when I started hearing cars, I'm going to hit enter, and it was 51, I believe. So I added 8%. Now it's 3 litres a second. So as I said earlier, if we'd have come in with 50%, which is very hard to do. I mean, you'd have to fuel save like a madman to come in with 50. But even so, 43 is very good. Look, we're up with all the big ones here. So it's perfect. Absolutely perfect team job so far with what we've done. We're in the pack. We're in the mix. So we're coming with 43. And I'm instantly going, right, well, okay, I want to race at the end of this one. I don't want to have to be... Oh, my pen's decided to break itself. I don't want to have to fuel save in this race. I really need to go for this at the end. Because everyone else is going to be fuel saving, and I kind of knew this. So if we just play it a bit further... I'm hoping... Here we go, we can see fuel now. Right, so let's have a look at these fuels. A bit more. Right, okay. So we can see a couple of them here. 51, that's what I said. Jaguar went for a bit more, 54, so that's an extra second in the pits. But they were in there longer anyway because they were leading the pack and came in with 38, I think. 35 it was. Aston Martin came in with 38. So you can see Jaguar, Audi, Aston Martin, they know they're going to go for the race here. BMW filled up a little bit more as well. Some of these guys, Lexus. Now, I instantly saw Lexus fuel saving later on. I was like, yeah, you should have filled up a little bit here. Like some of these guys did not fill up, so they were fuel saving. The biggest surprise to me was Chevrolet. Now, what did Chevrolet come out with? 41. Now, I know Chevrolet's good at fuel saving, but my word, that is something else. So you can see Aston, Jaguar, Aston Martin, they all came out with around the same amount of fuel. And what you're going to see here, we're 2.1 seconds down. And I want you to actually have a look at, this is how much slipstream has an impact. Okay, we're 2 seconds down. We're one of the faster cars in the handling section, the dock section, and on the straights we're pretty slow. So Jaguar have got our slipstream here, so it's 1.9 now. I want you to look at this gap by the end of this straight when we get to the docks. Look at this gap. And this is the absolute nutty advantage of slipstream at this circuit. Okay, so it's 2 seconds, 1.92 seconds. So 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds. Watch that gap start climbing. 2.1. Look at it go up now. 2.2. And I was annoyed at this point because I was missing out on slipstream here. 2.3, 2.4. See what I mean? Slipstream should not be that strong. No way should it be that strong. And that's just one straight. Now imagine it across all the straights. So it's still 2.4 here. It's gone up to 2.5. It drops a little bit because it's a handling section. So you notice it goes back to 2.3. And I knew we were losing out big style. There's no point me leading any pack here. Drops 2.1 because we've done the handling section. Now watch this gap just shoot up again. So I go for the tag team style, and I talked about this in the vlog as well. So Jaguar, they're going to gain on me like absolute madmen here. You can see that. So I let them go. I just literally let off in the tunnel to the right, let them go. Aston Martin then go for a move as well. Aston Martin seems quite quick here, to be honest, to say their car seems to lose power. So Aston Martin go for the move here. And that's where I said on the vlog, oh, don't race, don't race, don't race, don't race. So I just let them go at that point. Again, if I save a bit more fuel towards the end, happy days. Because I did want 56, remember, not 51. And these guys are racing away anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to fast forward a little bit more now. I'm going to put a ×2. We're going to watch as the action unfolds here. Just in fast forward, of course. And we stay in P11 for quite a while. Now, I had said to Double H, 9 positions, 8 laps, I can do this. Like confidence-wise, no sarcasm. And Double H said at the time he didn't actually believe me that we could do this, but I had the belief. Now, I've seen. Oh, sorry. David Perel has said, that he admires the calmness I have in races and the positivity aspect. And I honestly do believe in the positivity side of this. I don't care where I am at this moment in time. I know I still have a chance here. It's a slipstream race. Anything can happen. Like, literally. I mean, get that. Is it Ellie Goulding? Anything can happen. Anything can happen in this race. I don't care. As long as we can catch up. You can see we're 1.6 seconds down at this moment in time. And actually, I think Nick comes up to the side of Ayumu, because Ayumu is in the car. You can see a big mistake here. I see that, and I start cheering, because I instantly know we're back in the game, boys! Back in the game. I was so happy at that moment, because then it's like, game on. Game on, here we go. And BMW obviously were slow due to that impact against the wall. It's at 1 position. I start going nuts on every position here. I don't know whether they've got the footage of this on the old cameras they have down here, like. But even so, you can see this issue here. It's just, I think that's a bit of netcode as well. As I say, netcode has been a bit of a funny bugger, and I'll demonstrate that later on. So we'll just let this fast forward a bit more. We'll watch some of the action. You can see Toyota, by the way, look, 11.8 seconds, 11.9 seconds. It's just ridiculous, to be honest. Everybody knew that anyway. So we knew it was a race. And it's sad, really, because this should be a fight for the victory, but it's not, because the car is so dominant, basically. So you can see we're in the pack here. We're just behind Jaguar at this moment in time. And there's that. Look at that. The Lexus is fuel saving like heavily now. Now I only spot this later on, and you'll see why anyway. And I mean really fuel saving as well. So you see, we're not even in the points at the moment. It's just like Audi. Oh yeah, right. Audi's not going to be anywhere near there. And in my head, I have all the confidence in the world. I'm just thinking, right, where can I make moves? Spot the mistakes of other drivers. You can see here, we're very close to Porsche. I do try and go for a move into the hairpin on the Porsche, and you will see that gap change slightly, mainly because BMW is behind me as well. So I go for the move. Unfortunately, it doesn't come off in this situation. Yeah, it goes up, but it comes back down again. I can't remember if I went too deep or just that Porsche went for a wide line and had a better exit. Can't remember off the top of my head. But oh, actually, this is a critical moment. Let's put this to normal. So you're going to see some big contacts go on in a minute. Well, you're going to see it on the left. Sorry, you're going to see a lot of movement here. And you see we just jump a couple. So what happens? Somebody understeered into somebody else that went into the barrier. I think it involved 3 cars. But only 2 of them were impacted, which was Jaguar and Ford. So I saw this was about to happen, and I went tight, really tight on that last corner, and that saved me because I didn't hit any of those cars, and I didn't lose any speed straight into that P8 position. I cheered at that part. I was like, yes, come on, yes! And we were right behind Porsche, and I knew we had the advantage on Porsche. I don't know why we had such an advantage, but I felt like we had an advantage. I was very quick here. Sorry, I just smashed the mic there. I was very quick here, so I went for the move on Porsche down into the dock section. Unfortunately, we're not going to see that here. And look at Chevrolet. So remember, they didn't they didn't put any fuel in. So they had this advantage of getting that extra 2 or 3 seconds that we didn't have. So here you can now see we're in P7 because we made that move in the docks on the Porsche. I think it was down the inside in that situation. And yeah, we're right behind Aston still. Woohoo! So obviously that was critical at Laguna when Aston were ahead of us, but even so, we're still with Aston. So all happy days. It wasn't. There's a funny message at some point which I'll talk about. But you can see we're at P7. It's happy days at the moment, and you can see Chevrolet are up here, which is kind of crazy to be honest. I did wonder what the hell was going on. You see us right in the distance there, right in the thick of it here, in 7th position, right in the mid pack there. Hyundai miles away because they're slow. I mean, you've got the two extremes here, Toyota and Hyundai. Literally, take some power off the Toyota, give it the Hyundai, job done. But yeah, even so, poor Hyundai. They didn't have a hope in hell, Hyundai. They didn't have a hope in hell, even if they had the slipstream. So look at that, 1.5, 2 tenths behind the Aston Martin, and then we've got 3 laps to go essentially. I love this race. I really do love this race. Oh, car alarm going off. Right, so where was I? Sorry about that. Car alarms and all that lot. Of course it happens while filming. Even so, let's continue on. We have 3 laps to go. We're in P7. We're 4 tenths behind. And you can see we are in the mix here, which is what matters. And you can see Lexus there. And this is where I saw Lexus for fuel saving, because we were catching them so fast. So Aston went for the move down the inside. I was like, ooh, happy days, I'll follow them here. Tried to get it done, but then Lexus were on the outside here, so I had to sort of give them space, let them go. And then as we come out of here, they hit the barrier slightly, but then I see them really short shift. I'm like, oh, I'll have this. So you can see that gap instantly just drop. And look, the Lexus are fuel saving like absolute nutters here to try and survive. So P6, and I was really cheering at this point because I was like, wow, this is working out well here. I mean, there's 2.5 laps to go, and we can see P2. I mean, that's balmy. So you can see that just in the back. So we're still chasing this Aston Martin down, and they're just sat over there to me as well. So I don't know how Mizuno here in the Toyota's Raichu. I have no idea how he managed to do this with the amount of fuel he had. It's incredible fuel saving apparently. Very impressive. But you can see now we're down. The pack is now shrunk a lot, and we're still in the critical pack here. That is the biggest thing here. Those moves have been so critical, and we've stayed with the vital pack here, making our way through the field. Us and Aston Martin, it's been brilliant because we put in a lot more fuel, and the reason is this: we could race, whereas others were fuel saving. So we've got 2 laps to go, and you see BMW get that 10-second penalty. Now that is for coming in not sticking to the tyre rules. So you had to do at least 5 full laps on each tyre. Okay, 5 full laps. They only did 4 full laps, and it was on the 5th lap they came in with everybody else, which was not what you meant to do. So you can see Alpha go for the move down the inside. And scraping the barrier, and this is good for us now because we're in the mix, and I saw that happen. So we went down the inside here, try and get the move done on the inside of Aston. Happy days, job done. Up another position. I kind of found that critical at the time, but then I didn't have the slipstream, so I really wanted the slipstream here. Now I want you to watch what the Aston does here. Watch what the Aston does here. Watch. Pushes that gap open. Now I remember this, okay? I absolutely remember this for later on, and I'll explain why. So just going up here now, looking for a darting for position here. I'm thinking, excellent, this is great stuff. I'm in the mix. I am in the mix. So we continue on now down the inside here. And again, I give just enough room there to the Astons. A little bit of contact, but there always is. That slight rear end always loses itself there with the Audi. It always catches itself again. That's why the Astons still had room here. So, you see this at this moment in time? 21, 22, 23. Okay. Now, I didn't realise 1 point separated us. But even so, Hayden came on, Double H came on the radio and was like, you need 2 points. You need 2 points. And in my head, I'm like, that's 1 position. That's 1 position. I was going nuts. So I'm thinking, what position? Oh my God, what position? But I didn't know what was happening with Aston and everybody else. I didn't know if Chevrolet was going to get it or what. I was just like, in my head going, I've got 1 lap here. I just need to get as many positions as I possibly could. So, yeah. I was just thinking, here we go. Here we go. I was like, say again, say again, say again. So, just coming out of this last corner, by the way, watch this. So, you're going to see the Aston look like it's got nitrous. See how close I am to the Aston? Oh, look at it fire off. So, I can tell you right now that netcode basically did this. So, it's going along, boom. And the Aston got a massive boost, and I slowed down. I was worried for the Alpha behind me because the Aston got such a boost. Fortunately, the Alpha doesn't gain on us that much, but look how much we lose because of it. We lose an absolutely massive amount, but we nailed this corner perfectly. Look at this. Absolutely nailed. So 3 we went, and I, at this point, right, okay, I was so unsure about what to do. I was like, I need the slipstream here because otherwise I've got no chance anyway. So you're going to see me sort of dart in and out of this slipstream, and then I think, well, the Chevrolet's going to go left here, surely. So then I go left. Okay, so let's watch this. So you see me darting around. Last second, I pulled to the left. That's where I thought about it. Now, remember when the Aston pushed me? I got the 4 instantly. So you see this tiny gap here? I was like, Aston pushed me out a little bit to make a bit of space. I'm going to do the same. So that's what I do. I push a little bit there, make the room, and we go 3 wide into the docks here. And I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was doing because I needed to be on the outside. If I was on the outside, happy days. So I kept it on the outside. Absolutely kept it there on purpose so that I would keep that position as I came through here. Happy days. Happy, happy, happy days. Up to P3. Now, critical mistake by me here. So obviously it's the first time I've been in clean air. So I got this corner slightly wrong. You see the understeer happen there. And I clipped this barrier quite hard. I know others do behind me, but that loses me some speed. So you can see now that I've got a bit of a smile on me. But this, look at this. Look at this. We're on the podium. We've been after this all bloody year. We're on the podium. What on earth is going on? I have no idea how they can keep these points updated, to be honest, because it was all over the place. I actually have no idea. All I know is that we had to beat Aston, which we're not doing here at the moment. I had no idea where Alpha was in all of this as well. So who knows? Who knows? So coming up here, I knew Aston was going to get by, and then you're going to see me dart right back in there. I made sure that Chevrolet did not get that. I wanted to be the car that made the decision here. Absolutely made the decision, okay? So I was coming up towards the hairpin now, and this is where I talk about it in the vlog. Notice how I stay with the Aston Martin here. I know exactly where I'm going. I know this track opens up as we leave this tunnel, right? Probably the Aston is not going to go right, okay? Because if you go right, that's one of the tightest lines imaginable. The Aston doesn't really like tight lines anyway. So I was going to dart right. Now, if the Aston suddenly darts right, just as I do, I'm going to have to go down the middle. But one thing's for sure, like, in my head, I'm darting right. I had that move planned in my head straight off the bat. And you can see how close I am to that wall. I'm trying to do it. Look, instantly, boom. And it looks like we tag each other here, but we don't actually do that. I'm actually breaking the straight line. I'm not sure why it looks like this. So, and I actually think I outbrake myself, okay? I actually thought that. I was like, oh, crap. I think I might have outbroke myself. But then the car just stopped. Stopped. And then, obviously, the incident happened. So we'll just watch this. So, you can hear Hayden there. Bloody hell. So, let's just have a look at this in a bit more slow motion. Because, obviously, it's one of the most critical moves. One of the most biggest drives I've ever done. So we're going to watch it in slow-mo first of all. I'd look at that. I'm not even blinking. I am not even blinking. I did not even realize. So here we go. Coming down here. Experience! So you can see how close we are. I mean, this is amazing racing. Let's be real here. So, coming down into here now, I instantly go, right, okay, you're not going in it, I'm going in it, happy days, dart down the inside, brake. Brake, 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 brake. There's a little bit of, see, there's no, the Aston hardly moves there, but I'm down here now, braking, 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 braking. Look at those brake discs. Chevrolet's there as well. And then, I just want you to look at the exit now. So what I want you to, you'll start to see the Audi starts to lose the rear, but as I say, it always catches itself. It's just one of those things. Chevrolet's on the outside. I have to give space. Remember, you've always got to give space to a car that is there. Aston, if you look at Aston, they also lose the rear slightly. So if we just continue a little bit here. So watch the rear now, just as we accelerate, does its usual thing. And look, Aston have had to straighten up themselves because they lost their rear. Okay, so now it would have caught itself. So the rear at the moment is further away from the Aston than the front, right? So then it hits us just as it's about to start catching itself, and that sends us completely round. Now, we'll watch that again. Funny with the old. So I want you to look at the Aston this time. See, look, it lost its rear. Oh, that's really horrible, actually. Let's put it on normal again, because it seems to be... Right, so let's go to 0.25 again. Sorry. YouTube for you. So let's watch this again. Look at the Aston this time, rather than me. I've talked about what the Audi does all the time. Look at the Aston. Okay? So, see, it looks like I'm overturning the car a little bit, but I'm definitely not. So, look at the Aston, 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 look at the Aston. Goes full throttle now. Look, loses the rear. Tries to catch it, so straightens up. Boom, straight into my rear. Straight into my rear. So that is what actually happened. It's very hard to see as it's live, it's instant like that. It's crazy. Okay, and you can see the spin. So what also happened here is, look, you can see I've hit the barrier and I'm on the circuit. I can't go anywhere. And I actually caused, I think it's Porsche to hit me as well. So I apologise to the Porsche drivers. I couldn't really do much at that moment in time. So if you look, Chevrolet are now in third. And I believe because of that, Alfa actually get on the podium in the end. So, I mean, congratulations to Alfa. I was massively, massively, massively gutted for that. I've got to be honest. But you've seen there what happened to both cars. The Audi always loses its rear and it catches itself. You can see how disappointed I am. I'm driving one-handed. I've lost all, effort, if that makes sense. Because that was the podium we were after. Like I said, there was only one place to go, and that was the podium. And then apparently not. You can get that close to the podium and still not get there. So now you can see I'm doing that. And Ayumu's sorry. So a lot of people are like, oh, Tidge lost it by himself. I mean, I don't know if we can get chat on here. There we go. So yeah, basically Ayumu came over and apologised. Now, obviously, Ayumu knows, I know, we both know how the cars work and drive and stuff. So at the time, I'm obviously going to be angry, sad, gutted, frustrated, you name it. I was having every kind of emotion possible. But you guys know with me that I try and keep a level-headed mind, okay? A level-headed mind. So Ayumi would apologise and stuff, and then his Aston teammates were just, talking to each other and congratulating Lamb there. I was just trying to contemplate myself a little bit, make sure I get the thoughts into my head. As I say, I was very gutted at the time that we came that close to the podium, and we missed out, okay? That close. But at the end of the day, it's racing, okay? And this is the one thing that we've got to remember. In racing, incidents happen. You saw there, the Aston lost the rear slightly. I lost... I lost the rear on the Audi slightly, but the Audi always catches itself. The Aston, you have to catch it. So Ayumu caught it, as you would do. Two cars on the outside, very hard to give space while trying to catch a slide at the same time. And looking back on it now, again, I'm glad I reacted the way I did. It's very easy to go nuts and just be like, oh, your fault, blah, blah, blah. I mean, Ayumi's already come to apologise. It's racing. And I want to say this about like racing in terms of racing in FIA races and stuff like that as well. Incidents happen. Aura was amazing the other round at Tokyo, for example. In racing, incidents happen. We see it all the time. We see it in real life. We see it in racing. It's not always somebody's fault. There are racing incidents. This, unfortunately, was a racing incident. Okay, I couldn't do anything more about it. Ayumu couldn't do anything more about it. It is what it is. If I was 1 meter further ahead, no contact, we get the podium. If I was 1 metre further behind, technically, you might even save my slide even before the car catches itself, and the Chevrolet gets hit in the wall, and then I'm not sure what happens. It was just at the critical moment, wrong place, wrong time, bit of bad luck. But when I look at that stint now, I go, holy crap, how did I manage to do the 11 to 3rd, basically? And holy crap, what an amazing Team Audi were there. Tatsuk with the amazing driving, okay, at the start, clearing through fields like no tomorrow. Amazing. Double H, so consistent. I know like Double H suffers with his nerves a little bit, but my word, no mistakes, absolutely nailed it every single time. And then we came at the end there, so close. And I'm glad I put on that racing show, if that makes sense, because I showed there I can race. I can race hard. I can race absolutely as fast as anybody if I need to, and I can make the moves when they count. So, yeah, do you know what? I am so happy with my personal performance and Team Audi. I'm really gutted we didn't get a podium because I feel like we deserve a podium. We've been building throughout the year, and we got to this, and yeah. But I think just a number of critical factors happened throughout this day, because it was all on one day, that just led to it. The qualifying. I mean, if you look at it this way, if we even got in that top 6 qualifier, Tatsuk potentially would have gone up to 4th, 3rd in the first race. Double H would have potentially kept that 3rd, 4th, and then I would have potentially finished on the 3rd, 4th. Suddenly that's the 2 extra points, and we don't have to make that move on Aston. Do you know what I mean? And then we look at Dragon Trail Gardens, the penalty. I don't think it was a penalty. Potentially cost us 1 or 2 points. We look at Laguna Seca, unfortunate mistake at the sausage curb, potentially cost us 1 or 2 points. Start of this race, maybe that cost us a little bit, I don't know. Potentially cost us a position maybe to break away potentially. Lots of little things in there that, yeah, if we change, we would have definitely been on there. But I honestly believe the qualifying is the critical thing actually, rather than just that incident at the end. So Ayumu, if you are watching, mate, you know that we're all good. We had a Twitter Twitter replies and stuff. It was great to race with Ayumu actually. We had some fantastic racing in that. I mean, how often can you go 3 wide in the docks, survive it, and have such a fantastic race? Not very often. And that to me is one of the best moves I've seen at any live event. To make it 3 wide, do a Moses maneuver on the docks and keep it clean and get out ahead of everybody. Ooh. Oh yes. Oh, and the other mistake, by the way, was me hitting the barrier, wasn't it, on the last lap as well, just on that fast right. So yeah, you're going to see me down at the bottom left there, just contemplating it. And then I'm just like, okay, I've just got to say that. And a lot of Yumu, again, big respect, man, big respect. Double H, we heard him at the end. Bloody hell! Mate, legend. I can't do a Kiwi accent, so sorry, I can't do it very well. Again, at Yumu, he's very gutted. I know that the Japanese are very respectful people anyway, so they feel for it. John must have come up there as well. I'll be real with you guys. When I went back to the seats, I had my head in my hands. There were tears. Do you know? I was gutted at the time. So, why wouldn't you be gutted? You've just missed out on the podium at the World Finals. So, yeah. A couple of the stewards said I'd lost it myself, but that's not true. That's nonsense. That's why Yumi was over there, apologising. So that is what happened. You saw it. The Aston got a bit loose. Tried to catch it. The Audi always gets loose there, and when you overload the rear suspension in any car in Gran Turismo, it just spins like that. So yeah. But I want to say I'm going to pause this now actually, even though I know live chat has been probably going nuts here. Tidge looks devastated. I mean, Tidge keeping it classy. I try to. Do you know what? As I say, you can't. It's all in the moment. You've got to look at it afterwards. If afterwards you can look at it and you go, that was a dirty move, then fair enough. But it wasn't. It wasn't. But yeah, there's lots of ripped Audi. Ooh, it's mouse. But yeah, as I say, guys. I mean, I've seen so much support in that live chat for Team Audi, for myself, and everything. I thank you for that support. I really do. It's been awesome. Now, there's no livery going on the Audi when we eventually buy it, but I thank you so much for the support. Honestly, throughout the year, this year, we've been to so many events. I've seen so many messages. I've received so many messages. it's been unbelievable. I can only thank you for it. I can't do anything more. I will continue making YouTube videos, of course. I stream on Twitch, guys. I apologize if you are saying come back to YouTube. I can't. I literally can't. I can't come back to YouTube for live streaming. But if you actually check out Twitch, I am going to put Twitch highlights up at some point of like a month worth of Twitch streams. We actually have an absolute laugh because you get to get more involved with the live stream than ever before. Trust me. But I say thank you so much for the support. I can't thank you enough. I really can't. We'll see what happens in 2020. What we do, manufacturers, nations, whatever it might be. I'll try my hardest. Of course, racing for Lazarus as well. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for me now. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the support again. I can't say it enough. But I will see you in the next video or live stream. Have a good Christmas and New Year, and goodbye for now.